Let's go. I really got the feeling today that everything is going my way. Now this is what I'm talking about. Every time I see your smile, it makes me shout. Let's go! Let's go! Nothing's gonna stop us today. Get on the bus or get out the way. We're cruising with the radio on. So turn it up to 10. Here comes our favorite song. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Good evening, people. It is another Sunday, and as always, it's Power Series. Today, I'm super stoked, super excited because I have someone, I have a legend on the show today, and it's amazing to have him. It's awesome. I reached out to him and trying to get him to come on the show just to inspire us. But before we get into today's show, I would want to say a big thank you to a few people, especially all the Power MVPs. It's good seeing, your tweets, your inbox messages, your emails, your retweets, your likes, your shares. It just goes a long way to tell me that there's a lot of support, there's a lot of backing, you're giving me that encouragement to continue to do this good work. But I can't say enough thank you without mentioning our legend Donna. She made all these things possible. But before we actually get into today's guest, I want you to sit back and then watch this video.
Now, one example that stood out for me was because when you think about business process in particular, the one thing that is going to be true is more things are going to be digitized. As we see the power of IoT and other tools that are going to be used, every workflow is going to be automated. On an ongoing basis, that means we need to have a set of tools that allow us to reduce the total cost of these customizations and automation. And now we've built a complete new app platform, which I think represents a tremendous opportunity for everyone in the room. Power BI, Power Apps and Flow, that combination of it is just going to change how applications are built and deployed and things get automated. London Heathrow, busiest airport in Europe, a plane takes off every 45 seconds, 78 million passengers, and one employee sort of saw an opportunity for their own digital transformation journey to be accelerated. Let's roll the video.
I don't just want to make a living, I want to make a difference. When I left school at 16, my dad was working in Heathrow at the time, and this opportunity came up as becoming a security officer. I thought, what a great opportunity, my dad used to take me here to watch see planes and everything, so why not work for a company or an airport like Heathrow? I've been a security officer for 13 years. When I saw the amount of paper and time we were spending, I saw an app would be a great solution for these problems to be solved. About a year ago, I started learning about the Microsoft programs. I went home and I looked at a blog from Power Apps, and it said, this is how you can build an app. And I thought, why doesn't no one know this? Because this could have so much potential to change so many things. We have saved 11,000 sheets of paper and saved around 288 hours of manual input data. Going from paper to digital has been amazing. It doesn't matter what your skill levels are like, anybody can build this app.
Him with his community of super users have created 17 Power Apps that are already being used across our airport, and this is just the tip of the iceberg.
My name is Saini, and I'm a IT user adoption specialist at Heathrow. there's no limit what you can create with new technology. I'll create a new career.
Exactly. There is no limit to what you can create. He created a career. Viewers, let's welcome Samit Saini. You are live. You are live, and the whole world is seeing you right now. Welcome to
You're
the
making
show.
me. I think you're making me nervous now. So
Sorry about that, but I
that's
mean
all right.
it's the excitement. The excitement is just too much, to have you on our show. And we were talking before, we went live, and you were like, "Oh, this is the second time you're doing a live stream." So to be the show to have you on for the second time, that's like kind of like a big thing for us. But welcome again to the show.
No, thank you for having me again. It's a pleasure, and especially you know, uh, reaching out, and I would do anything for the community. So, and you've done such an amazing job with the community. I just, if I can help, that'd be amazing. So, no, thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I know a lot of people are, already asking questions. They want to know more about you. They've seen the video. They want to know what all this, noise about Power Platform is. So just like we do on the show, I would want you to first probably, tell us a bit about yourself, and then you can gradually get into how you got into this whole power craziness. And then, hey, we'll take it from there.
No problem. So, hi everyone. My name is Saini, and I work for London Heathrow Airport. And I've been working at the airport for nearly 15 years now. And yeah, so I work for IT DevOps now as a solution specialist. And so yeah, but for the last 13 years of my career, I was a security officer, a security guard. So if you have traveled through Heathrow and you left your liquids, laptops, or iPad, I will be searching your bag or searching you basically. So yeah, that's me. So, but I literally live 10 minutes away from Heathrow. Um, Nearly my family has worked at Heathrow, from my
Wow.
brother to my dad. It's where I met my wife.
Wow.
So yeah, so my dad worked there for 27 years, but it's been a great place to work for me. So yeah, I mean, I left school when I was 16. I was really bad at school. I would come home and my dad say, "How was school?" And I'll say, uh, "No words can explain it." And I couldn't wait to leave. I couldn't wait to leave, and I
Mm.
couldn't wait to follow my dad's footsteps. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. So quick one. Some people are like, okay, so yeah, he's in Heathrow. He's now solutions, adoptions, specialist and all that. In your story, you mentioned that your dad used to work at Heathrow. Technically, your whole family, used to work at Heathrow. And coincidentally, I was actually born close to the airport. So
No way. We'll probably be neighbors. We'll probably be living the same street now. That's what I love about the community. It's such a small world.
yeah,
Like Keith Watling, right? He lives
yeah.
literally 10 minutes away from me. So,
Wow.
so
Wow.
we only found that out when we went to Ambas, and it was so cool to find out
Oh, okay.
that he lives 10 minutes away from me. So
From you.
trust me, when we talk and find out where you live, I bet you will be like, no,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's amazing. That's amazing. But one thing that, for me, struck me was he was just, so to speak, you say an ordinary security man. But then, was it by chance that you got into power ups? Like, how did you discover power ups? And at what point did you decide to say, wait a minute, I can use this to change my, my work style?
So yeah, I mean, and I will never forget the day. It's when the lady that you saw on the screen at the video, her name
Yeah.
is Komal, and she came to the frontline to us, like the frontline colleagues,
Hmm.
and she was doing a presentation to all of us, and she was saying that, listen, we have got Office 365 applications available to not just people that work in the offices, but to everyone, even including yourselves. You got Microsoft Word. You can use Excel. You can use PowerPoint. You have an Outlook
Hmm.
account.
Yeah.
because security officers, we didn't hardly used emails,
Mm.
and so we used to use our personal accounts. So would
Oh.
you? So would we use our personal account? So I'll give an example. Someone would use a email address like hello miss kitty 85 at hotmail.co.uk,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then send an email to the manager with that account. It doesn't seem professional.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and by the way, that's not my email account, just to let you know. Um, but uh, but you would use you can now have a professional email address,
Mhm.
samit.saini@heathrow.com.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, that's amazing. We never had that before. That's great. And she said, our manager, Como business change manager, she said, go out and learn, look at what you can do with it.
With it.
So
Yeah.
that same day, I went home. I was so excited to learn something new. I thought I heard about Excel, PowerPoint.
Mhm.
Let's see what else I can learn. And I quickly put the kids to bed, and I, finished my shift, and I started learning each application from
Mm.
OneNote to
Mm.
things I never used before.
Before. Yeah.
And yeah, and then I came across Power Apps, and there's a blog. There's a learn. You click on this learn section,
Yep.
click on that, and it says you can create an app in 5 minutes.
Mm.
I said, okay, this sounds interesting. 90% of the world uses apps.
Yep.
So when it says you got an opportunity to build your own app, why not look into it? So I
Into it.
clicked on
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so I clicked on it, and because the steps are so easy, where it's not like an essay or
Mm.
there's no like coding or anything like that,
Mhm.
which I couldn't see. I just followed the steps, and it was so simple. Where you open up an Excel spreadsheet,
Mhm.
create your columns, you
Yep.
name your columns, give your Excel spreadsheet a name, then you save it and you save it into OneDrive.
Yep.
Save it into OneDrive, then it asks you to go to your Power Apps web browser.
Mhm.
You go to OneDrive where it says create your database. Go to OneDrive, and you see the Excel spreadsheet that you have saved.
Yeah. You created.
Press press the tick button. Okay, great. Press create database. Create your app. Clicked on it, and literally within a minute or so,
Minute. Yep.
it's generating your app, right? And I'm thinking, okay, this sounds exciting. Okay,
Yep.
nearly there. I've got this big smile on my face, and I see a framework of an app. Basically, it's just a template. It
Mm.
has a tick
Yep.
button. It has a text boxes with labels on it. It has the X button.
Yep.
And I said, okay, what's next? So I've got more and
Mhm.
more intrigued. It's a save
Yep.
your app, give it a name, saved it, and now I've saved it. And now it's asking me to, if you've got an iPhone or an Android phone, go to the store. It could be Apple
Mhm.
Store, Google Store.
Yep.
Download Power Apps. Put in your username and password. Put
Password.
that in. As soon as the Power Apps opened, I can see the name of the Excel spreadsheet that I've saved. So the app that I've named and saved is on my phone. I open it up, and what I see is the app that is on my
Oh my.
laptop.
Yep.
It's there. So now I'm starting to input data in the text boxes, and I press the tick button. And as soon as I press the tick button, it says submitted. And what I see on my Excel spreadsheet on my laptop is the data that I've sent
Exactly.
from my phone to the Excel spreadsheet. And I felt the first time ever in my life, I felt really, really smart. And I'm like, damn, I'm like, damn, I've just built something literally in
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Minutes.
It's,
Yeah.
it's on my phone. I'm sending data now. I'm sending about
Mm.
10, 15, and all I can see is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4 of my
Yeah.
data. Simple things,
Yeah.
name, date, and, and so on. And honestly, I had it felt like a epiphany. I feel like,
Mm.
what else can I learn? What else can I do? And I kept
Yeah.
learning new things every single time. And I'm like, what will I be next? What can I do next with it? So this is where the creative juices was coming. And I'm thinking,
Mm.
I need to build something simple.
Yeah.
And then I started with the language book.
Okay.
So we're in an international airport, and we have uh, up to an average 200,000 passengers coming through Heathrow
Okay.
Airport a day.
A day.
Not
Wow.
Yeah, a day. And we don't have many passengers who can speak English or understand English.
Mm.
Okay, so we didn't have the technology to ask passengers, could you please remove your liquid laptop and iPads
Oh.
in their own languages? And when they come through Heathrow and their bag gets rejected, this is when we use the book and says, do you
Okay.
have these items in your
Oh.
bags? And now that still is a problem because people are getting bags and getting rejected, but we're trying to give them what best service, but
Yeah.
we cannot speak
Their
we cannot speak the
language.
language.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, let me take this book home, this language book home. Let me scan the pictures, all of them. Let me
Mm.
scan the pictures and let me make it into an app.
Okay.
So that's what I did. It took me less than a week, where all I was doing is scanning pictures, inputting it into an app. Again, no coding at all. Just
Yeah.
how you got PowerPoint and how you add
Yep.
images in
Images
PowerPoint.
to it. Yep.
This is exactly what I was doing with Power Apps. I was just putting images into the app, and I was using a button. And a button again, no coding, where I'm just like hyperlink on
Yeah.
PowerPoint, but much easier. Where you click on the button, you go to action, and it says where do you want this button
To
to
go.
lead you.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I clicked on Italian, it will take me to the Italian section. If I clicked on
Mm.
Spanish, it will take me to the Spanish section. And I made it so simple where there was no coding involved. And then the more I learned, the more I thought, you know what? Let's make it more different than a book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's add a video. Let's
Okay.
add a video of my colleagues speaking their
Speaking their
language.
language. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was great. And then I learned how to connect one application to a connector like Microsoft Translator.
Mm.
So now
Mm.
So now I can type in English and it'll translate in a different language and speak it as well at the same time.
No
And
code.
no code at all. That was
And
and
and you had no previous coding experience.
no previous. I failed in English and math, so no, so no coding experience at all. No.
Wow.
So yeah, and that's why when I saved it and saved that app, and I was so excited, I showed it to my manager the next day, and when I showed it to my manager the next day, and I showed him the app, and he goes, "So who created this app?" And I said, "I did."
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes, "How much is it going to cost the company?" And I said, uh, "It didn't cost us anything because it's part of the Office 365
But yeah.
application."
Yeah.
And so let's spend. I said, "Let's spend an hour, and let me show you a breakdown how the app was created." And I can show you after and before the show, I can show you what the app is like and how
Sure.
it's created.
Sure.
Easy. And I showed the same thing to him, and he goes, "Okay, this is amazing. Let's show it to IT." So and I got introduced to the IT team, and they go, "I created this," and they're like, "Oh wow, this is amazing." So you're basically shadow IT.
Mm.
I said, "I don't know what shadow IT meant," but he goes, "You're shadow IT. You're creating apps behind the facts. We didn't know about it."
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, great. They loved it, and they said, and they introduced me to Komal, who's the business change manager,
Okay.
and she goes, "Would you like to be a digital champion?"
Mm.
Which meant basically I would do my shift. So I would during my shift, they would take me offline for a couple
Okay.
hours
Okay.
and introduce me to other departments and say, look what you can do as well, because
Okay. Okay.
this is what you can have in your department.
Oh.
And so I was a digital champion for 3 months, and then the job came up to become an adoption specialist for 6 months. I took the opportunity, but I did ask my manager. I did say to my manager, "Look, haven't applied for a job for the last 13 years,
Yeah.
so my resume, my CV is not up to date.
Is that up to yeah?
Yeah, and I have trouble reading and writing, and I have that difficulty." And she goes, "No, you don't worry about that. You have a passion for this knowledge,
Mm.
and you took time to learn it, and you're sharing your knowledge. So, we're happy to have you on board, and we can always help you in those kind of things."
Yeah.
So she was a really an inspiration to me, and someone who didn't look into my resume or anything to take me on to her team.
Yeah.
So that was great. And then so I was doing that, and then the opportunity came to build apps for my managers, for security managers.
Okay.
And it was a great opportunity because it took my learning to another level, where
Yeah.
so I'm not building the app for myself, I'm building apps for managers, so I could sit down with them and ask them what's the process like. What was the process like?
Yeah.
I didn't know at the time, but this is what you call stakeholder management and voice of the customer. So I'm learning new tool.
Yeah.
I'm learning new tools that, not just learning about power apps, but I'm learning
Mm,
how to meet people, how to
yeah.
take in their requirements, and
Yeah.
so on. And it's so funny to listen about the process. And
Mm,
they were asking me to build this audit app, where we check about special assistants.
mm,
Making sure that they get the wheelchairs, if the wheelchairs are equipped, making sure the signages are perfect, the people who are giving them assistance, the uniforms are correct. So
yeah.
they used to do a audit form every single day, about 6 or 7 security managers. So
Wow.
we would use up to 5,000 sheets of
Shit.
paper,
Yeah.
yeah, a month, right? We'd be using that day in, day out. And so I was trying to understand the process. Okay, you got this audit form. So what would you do? Well, how would tell me the day to day? What would you do with this audit form? So they would say, I'll go to my desktop, I'll print out 6 or 7 sheets, take that sheet from one terminal and to another terminal and do the audits. Okay.
Yeah.
Once I've done my audit, at the end of the shift, I'll come back and hand that piece of paper to the admin person. Okay, perfect. Now, end of the month, that admin person will spend on average 2 days inputting
Everything.
everyone's
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
into an Excel spreadsheet and
Yeah.
creating a bar chart and a pie chart. Now, you could also lose up to 2% of data, because if your handwriting is anything like mine, the person might have trouble inputting that kind of data because the
Exactly.
handwriting, yeah.
Yep.
So you're
Yep.
losing data at the same time. And then end of the month, that the admin person would say, this is how much we lost, or this is how much we have not been doing
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But that'd be too late. It's during the month, or this is how much equipment we lost.
Yeah.
So I had to understand the process, and I thought, great, Power Apps could remove that process, but you got to show me on this piece of paper what do you like, what questions do you like about it, and what things we can modify or not have, because if you don't
Mhm.
use it.
Yep.
And they said, great. Um, and we did it, made the app so simple, because I'm not using the app; it's for them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we made sure that the app was text free. So you're using buttons and using drop down menus.
Drop down. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not just about the app. Why are you building an app, or why are you building an app that is for audits? It's because of the data, right?
Yep.
So we had to make sure that everything was nice and clean, and
Yeah.
it was really, really good. Am I allowed, can I share it now, the screen, or
Yeah, yeah, you can. Yeah,
yeah,
I was
yeah,
actually going to, interject with a few things that's
yeah.
coming from
Do
Mixer.
it, do it, yeah, do
So,
it.
Mr. Power Ups is saying that you're going to be upset with him because he's putting together some paperwork for the workshop.
Oh,
But he
sorry.
made,
Yeah,
but he made a very valid point that,
mm,
you started simple, you started very
yeah,
small, and
yeah,
most times when people are getting into it, we tend to overshoot it, we tend to overthink it. I mean, it's just the basics. We start
yeah.
small, and then we get into it. I wanted to find out what was your challenge, after you had you had done the very first app, and then
Mm.
now you were actually, shadow IT and all that. When you had to create this other thing, what was your major challenge? And then how did
And
you get help?
so this is where IT and citizen developers can work together, because I had so many questions. Okay, we built this app, great. We're building this app, great. So how are we going to control the joiners, movers, and leavers? Okay,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
because remember, you're taking people onto a journey who's never used Power Apps before,
Yeah.
and they're looking to you for support, and looking for you to, if you're taking Power Apps and you're using it, we need to know more about it, and we're looking at into your eyes, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the questions were, okay, first question was about the apps was, okay, um, how are you going to add people onto this app?
Mhm.
We got 600 to 700 people who are managers. Are you going to add individual people onto this app?
Yep.
Okay. So we worked together and found out that, and this is the first time I learned about Azure Active Directory,
Okay.
where you get to
Okay.
learn about grouping people
Mhm.
with job
Mhm.
titles.
Mhm.
And so, okay, great. Now, so if you're a security manager now and your job title is a security manager, you'll be automatically into the group, which means
Yeah.
you'll be automatically into the app itself.
Up. Yeah.
And when you leave, you're out of the app, you're out of the admin side of it, basically. So you don't have someone constantly adding people onto the app itself.
Hmm.
So that was the
Hmm.
first learning and kind of thing. And then we're looking at the app itself. Is the app critical? So, for example, okay, if the app went down, what would you do?
Yep.
And so yeah, and we said, okay, we can always go back to the paper format because it's not a critical app. We have got, the app is going to be looked after because one has been documented. Because there's two ways you can document your app.
Mhm.
You got if you got Windows 10 and you type
Yep.
in a problem step recorder.
Mhm.
If you go to the search bar, it allows you to record steps of what you're doing on your laptop.
Oh, okay.
So we can do that when we're building an app, so you can see a screenshot of every step that you've made,
Step you've
and
taken.
we can use
Okay.
that. Yeah, so we use that as a documentation. Also, we do if you hold down Windows key and G, that lets you record everything that you're building as well at the same time. So we've got a step-by-step record of what gets
What
built.
can happen? Yeah.
Yeah. So again, we built apps that are not hypocritical. And so when they say, "Oh, what happens if the app goes down? What do we do?" One, you make sure that people are aware that if the app goes down, do go back to paper format. But touch wood, the app's been out. The app's been out for 2 years and it hasn't gone down.
It's gone down.
No, so touch wood. Again, but you had to make sure there's always a contingency plan, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and this is the first time you're using an app for audit form, so people will ask those kind of questions.
Yeah.
But we wanted to make sure that the liability is there. Where look, if the app goes down, yes, you go back to paper format. But again, we're not using critical apps. The data isn't that critical. So that was the two things that were coming into mind. GDPR, but again, we're not using the app for personal
client-facing, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So again, we started an app that is it's not critical, but it's not gonna we're not going to be done for GDPR as well at the same time.
Wow. Wow.
So hope that helps, Mr. Powapps.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's actually jumping right now. Yeah. That's amazing. When we started, I was like, your story is inspiring, because a lot of people, think of the power apps or think about, this whole thing as, well, I need to be a developer. Well, I need to have some, prior experience in development. No, I can't do it. And I'm like, no, you need to actually listen to your story to know where you came from. I mean, no prior development experience, got the opportunity to chance on it, and you did. We're talking about the resources and the help from the community. Can you, share more light about, how useful and how helpful the community is? Because it's good for people to know that, look, you're not in isolation. So a bit more on that will probably help, our viewers.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, at school, even though I was struggling and stuff, I never put my hand up for help. Never reached out. And and when I started learning about Power Up, even when I was at work as a security guard, I thought I can handle it and I don't need to reach out for help, because I knew this is my day job and I knew it inside out, kind of thing. Now, learning Power Ups is a totally different story, where I went on Twitter, and I used to think Twitter used to be for people gossiping and people follow celebrities and and so on. But it took me to one hashtag Power Apps to figure out there's a community of people that literally are talking about Power Apps.
Yep.
You don't find that on LinkedIn. I didn't have a LinkedIn profile. I definitely not on Facebook. Definitely, there's no one gonna type. Definitely on Facebook. I never. But to literally go on Twitter and go on the hashtag and Power Ups and see a gentleman called Brian Dang just submitting or sharing ideas and so on.
Yep.
He is one of the actually there are two people, PK Hung and Brian Dang, who have reached out, and with one click you got Brian Dang, who's messaged me, says, "Yeah, I'd love to help you out."
Yeah. He's an amazing dude. I mean, he's an amazing guy. I mean, FYI, he's already reached out and he's coming on the show. So super excited about that.
He's the kind of person who made careers happen for people. He's when I first met him, he was still a teacher. He was a teacher, and we used to chat literally at my time, 2 o'clock in the morning, and like my wife and my brother would say, "Look, who are you chatting at 2 o'clock in the morning?" And I'm like, I'm Skyping a gentleman called Brian Dang. And like, they never thought I would Skype people at 2 o'clock in the morning. And again, Brian would always help and reach out. There's not a day he said, I'm not going to help you. There's not a day I said,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
said, I would ask him a question and help out. And it gave me so much confidence, you know, for reaching out to more people.
yeah,
It takes that one person to give you the confidence, say, you know what, it's not a bad thing to ask for help,
yeah, yeah,
you know. And since then, I've always reached out to. It doesn't have to be about power apps.
yeah.
Like last week, I asked the community, look, I need help on Power BI. I'm taking
Mm-hmm.
on a new project. Could you help me? And I got 50 replies
Yeah,
all around the world. Help, in the thing. Look at this blog over here. Look at this YouTube video. Look at this content. And I'm so grateful for the community,
yeah,
and the community out there is amazing, where you get the confidence to say, you know what,
yep,
I can reach out and ask for help. It doesn't have
yeah,
to be about even it doesn't have to be about technology,
yeah.
just to reach out for anything, and someone just to reach out and say and reach back and say, oh, I'll help
I'll
you,
help you. Yeah,
and because of Blind Dang, it made me feel like more passionate that I want to pass that forward as well. I want to pass it forward to people and say, when Brian Dang gave me the opportunity and he gave me the time to help out, I would love and do the same thing. And
yeah.
so it's really good to do that.
Awesome. I mean, it's like, before we came on, I was telling you how, I got into it, and I was saying that, my previous company, I used to do some Power BI, some logic apps with some flows, and just a little, power apps, on the side. And then I go to an MCT conference in Abuja, Nigeria, and I meet Donna, and her energy is so contagious, and it just took it to the next level. I was like, no, we're doing this, and this is how far we've come. And like you said, the community is so amazing. I mean, even as soon as I started this, series, like I've had like Brian and Keith and all these people like reaching out and telling you, thumbs up, you're doing a good stuff. So it's amazing. Even before joining, I mean, before joining their group, there's a lot of love and a lot of help out there. Well, there's a lot of chatter going on between the power ups, and but that's just amazing. Um, at this point, I don't know if you wanna walk us through something you've done. I mean, not necessarily with Heathrow, but anything you want to demo, just so we get a glimpse or a taste of your processes of building a power up.
So let me show you quick a process. Let me if I can
Sure.
go here. Oh, let me see if I can show it here. Um, so see if I can show it here. Let me know if once you can see it.
Sure. Yep, we can see it. Wow, this looks
Okay.
cool.
So this is what we trying to make sure that when you're trying to build an app, depending what kind of app it is, we want to make sure that if it's a standard app, is it a normal app with less critical app data, or if there's a app that is critical apps, you have to go through a certain life cycle, a certain sign off. And so we're using this at the moment, where we want to know that what kind of ideas you're trying to, because what kind of ideas you have for your app, kind of thing. Because I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you, when you have the knowledge of building an app, this is it. Everything becomes an app.
Yep.
so,
Yep.
so so everything and anything could be an app.
Yeah.
So the aim is to actually understand the idea, what you're trying to build, and let's help you on that journey, kind of thing. And so we have a template where we say, okay, let's see what's your idea going to be. Let's review your idea, because I'm never ever gonna say, oh, and I'll say this to my kids, they can't be done. Anything can be done if
Yeah.
you have an idea,
Yeah.
and because most of the time I see where people have gone to IT and said, I've got this idea, and it ends up in the graveyard,
Yeah.
and people lose belief in their ideas. And I believe that, an idea is in your head. People, and this is how it happened with the language app, where I had an idea a couple of years ago with a language app, and I shared it, and they said, no, it can't be done because it costs too much money.
Hmm.
But Power Apps allowed me to bring my idea into reality.
Yeah.
And I want to do that for loads of other people as well. To say, let's look at your idea, let's review it, and let's how we're gonna get your app and
Yeah.
make it into reality. Let's how
Yep.
bring your idea into reality. That might not be an app, but let's make your idea into reality. So it goes from idea to review to design, because we want all our apps to have Heathrow branding, Heathrow design,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
so on. And then you build it, and make sure while you're building it, make sure it's documented, so
Yeah.
we can put it into a place where we know that if you leave, this is built. Here's your
It's continuous.
sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. Okay, let's pilot it. Let's see how well it's doing. What we're going to do about it. When if people haven't been using it or have any issues, okay, we can look it back and see how we can improve it. So we go from pilot to monitoring, and once it's all of that is done, then we sign it off, and then we put it into a live production.
Hmm.
So we have loads of environments. We've got a default environment. So when you create an app, all apps go into a default environment. I've called it apps to be deleted.
Yeah.
So people then find out, okay, my app shouldn't be in this environment.
Hmm.
But then once it gets signed off, we move it from the apps to be deleted to your department's environment.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can see if I can. Do I have it here? Can you see this or not, or you just see my?
We're still seeing the PowerPoint
Oh,
slide.
okay, let me just see that. Okay, so I haven't. Let me see if I can. Oh, yeah, new share. Here we go. Try this one. See if this works.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So, yep. Yeah, we can see it
So-
now.
So if you see this section here,
Yep.
you got apps to be deleted, so non-live app tabs,
Ah,
and each one has a different department, and then
Okay.
from there it goes to default to environment. This is where we can actually see the quality of an app and when
okay.
it's ready, kind of thing. So we've
Hmm.
done that, and so for example, we get the opportunity to build certain apps. Whoop. So this is the app I was telling you about, the first
Okay.
app that I've built. It's called the language app. So I can go to the home page. Again, these are images and these are just icons and these are just buttons, and I'll show you the back end of it. This is the
Oh, okay.
first app I ever built. So I can go to the Hindi section. So my language. Messages is E would highlight. Whoop, wrong one. Nope, let's do it. Yeah. So let's do it for a different app. So this is an app that we use at Heathrow where it has people's who they're working with,
Okay.
and it shows you that who works basically. It's like it has the Office 365 user account.
Okay.
So you can I can type in. I'm going to type in my wife's name. So Geeta Saini. Sorry. And it will tell you in your department,
Oh,
where she
okay.
works and who she
Yeah,
works.
she works,
Basically,
okay.
something basic. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have that before. We used to have a piece of paper and does that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And we also got this is called the Acumen app. Now this was built by an intern of ours who came into Heathrow last year and said, Samit, there's too many acronyms at Heathrow. So you got things like BAA, or British Airways or American Airlines and so on. And he goes, where's the information for all the acronyms? And I said, well, it's in a book. And he goes, shouldn't there be an app for that? And I said, yeah, there should be an app for that. So he goes and builds the app, and all the information's on in SharePoint list. So when you type in BA, all the acronyms for BA comes up. So simple things like that that helped Heathrow a lot. But also he's done an approval using Mark's Power Automate. So people cannot type in. So if I want to add an acronym, I can add things that like if I wanted to add WTF.
Hmm.
I don't know if everybody knows what WTF is, but
Can you please
but
elaborate?
no, no. Google it. No, but disapproval lets you to say yes or no, basically.
Okay.
So we know that okay, we're definitely not having WTF at
Okay.
Heathrow as an
Heathrow, okay.
acronym, kind of
Yeah.
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 So these are like one of the apps I'm trying to. Oops, sorry, I just get this other bar. Let me see another app. Uh, sorry. The thing is about these environments, not everyone gets to see them, so only the admin person gets to see
Okay.
these apps, kind of thing. So only the person that you share app with get to see their live environments. But so these are the other ones. So this is the special assistant app.
Mm.
But feel free to ask many questions as you want, or if you
Yeah,
want to ask
so
a
there's a
question.
question that they're trying to yeah, the question is how are all the apps surfaced to users? Like what's the discovery? So, is it that the apps are allocated to, individual users or like you're saying active directory groups? Because someone wants to know how that happens.
So could you repeat that again? Sorry.
Yeah, so someone wants to know how are the apps shown to the different users. So let's say for instance, how does the app know someone has access to app A, B, and C only?
So when you download Power Apps on your phone, one you can get an email notification to say an app has been shared with you.
Okay.
So you get an email notification, so you can open the once you get an email, you can open the app from there. But you can also go to Power Apps, and once the app is shared with you, it's there as well at the same time.
Okay.
So you get to see that as well. So it
Okay.
makes things easier. So yeah, but that's what makes it easier. I mean, when I go to let me see if I can go to file and share. Oh. So you got to see here, you got Azure JR PM2.
Okay. Okay.
So we can do it to not just one terminal, but other terminals as well at the same time. So they all get to share the app, see the app itself. But this is the app that used to be 3 audit forms. It's all into one app basically, where you can actually let's do a service. We can do click here by using Office, like if you connect with an Office 365 account, your
Okay.
name can appear as well at the same time. And when I don't know how many people have used Excel,
Yeah.
but the time and date formulas are exactly like Excel sometimes. So you don't use the equals sign when it comes to Excel.
Excel.
Here,
Yeah.
you're just using today's formulas basically.
Okay.
So
Okay.
and so on, just to reformat it kind of thing. So, for example, if I wanted to add in today's date, I can go to label, and if I put in now, open bracket, close bracket, it'll give you the time and date, just like that.
Wow.
So, like the things like this, it's really simple to input. Again, this is the formula that I used to when you enter the app, you know that this is the user.
Yeah.
So it's really good. Using this formula here to tell you if you're connected to the internet or not connected to the internet is very handy sometimes as well, so people know that okay, I don't have reception on the app. But yeah, we made sure that we try to brand it as much as we can for Heathrow.
Heathrow. Yeah.
Yeah, so to make sure that that if I go here, click on this bit here, we learned this from Shane Young, the drop down menu. We're doing
Okay.
from images and the drop down menu.
Drop down menus. Okay.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from Shane Young and his videos. Definitely go check that out. That's where I went to and I had to learn things like drop down menus and so on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
But
this
yeah,
is this is really cool because I've been thinking of doing some apps, and some of the things I'm like, okay, I'm still in a stage where I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to build it. Like, I was trying to look at this thing about this very cool and fancy menus when you hover below the app, it pops up and some kind of animation. I'm just here trying to
Yeah.
figure it out. But yeah, but this is really, 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 really this is really cool.
I mean, with Power Apps now, it feels like everything and anything is possible, especially with the new updates that come in and people in the community that are uploading so many things from people like Sancho and, you got Manuela when it comes to admin, you got Keith always coming up with
Yeah,
great and new
yeah,
ideas. Like I said, the community, they bring out the new great stuff. Hero from Japan. Honestly, I have uh, things that you don't see when you Google or Bing it or something. You won't see it there. You'll see it
yeah.
on Twitter. Or you see it in the community first.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
And that's
yeah,
when the great thing about being in a community is that you see the art of possible. If you go to the Power Ups community channel and see what amazing things have been built, which you won't be able to find on those search engines, but you'll
yeah.
see it in the
In the
community site.
communities. Yeah.
That's great. And people's ideas. I mean, just like a couple of weeks ago,
Yep.
Stream can be added into Power
Yep.
Apps. Microsoft Forms Pro can be
Yep.
added into Power
Yep.
Apps. I mean, things like this is amazing. So when you're thinking what can be done or what can't be done, it's always going to be there. And the things that can't be done, you might be the first person to actually do it.
Yep.
So
Yep. Actually, I have a confession. I actually saw the embedding of the Phone Pro from I think I
yeah,
saw it on your LinkedIn. I was like,
yeah,
whoa. And the thing is that the platform keeps evolving. Like,
yeah.
you wake up every day and newsflash, something has been added. Like, newsflash, something has been added. So it's I think it's an amazing, very an amazing
But
platform.
but isn't it great though that you got a purpose to learn something new every day? No one's I believe like I'm definitely not an expert on Power Apps, but it gives me a purpose to learn something new every single day, which is great. And it's not just about Power Apps. You can the whole Power platform. You got an urge to learn something new, and you can learn it from the community and
Hmm.
or from the website. But like you said, you wake up in the morning and wow, there's
Yep.
something new,
Yep.
and that's really good. It's really good to see.
Yep. Wow.
But
Awesome.
these are just the little things that we can show you, like
Hmm.
making sure that the user friendly, making sure that everything gets filled in, so on, so we get the right information, um, and so on. But this helped us a lot, save a lot of money, time, and paper.
Yeah.
Like things like this, it's if you looking at UX and UI design, there's a gentleman called Alan Chow who's
Hmm.
amazing when it comes to. If you ever added him because he's when it comes to UX and UI design,
Sure.
it's brilliant. So yeah, things like this was helped us um, make life easier because we're
Easier.
adding
Yeah.
value.
Yeah.
Uh, we're giving the right tools for the managers to do and not use paperwork
Paperwork.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like even things like this. So because it's on a computer, I'm typing, right?
Yeah.
But on your mobile phones, you'll have a small microphone in the corner,
Oh.
so you can press the button and it will speak and it will type for you.
Okay. Speech to text.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you got I got an iPhone, so I can do it on my iPhone. But I'm sure you can do it on Android as well. Where even if you're doing text message, you can do that the same thing. The
Yeah.
same here. So it's a really good tool. I mean, when I was talking about the language app here, and let's go to files. See if I've got it here still. Media. All of these are just images. So you see the buttons here, they're icons.
Yeah.
I'm just
Oh,
adding.
just icons. Yeah.
They're just icons. You can. There's the formula where you have on select. So if I go to front page here, this button here,
Hmm.
all I'm
Okay.
doing
Okay.
is go to action, navigate, and it tells you which page you want to go to. And so
Hmm.
if I go here, click in here, and again, if I use this button here, go to the Hindi menu, and then so on. And there you go, kind of thing. Again, it's like you don't have to use any coding for these.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
you can convert a book into an app. But the great thing is for me is I've got the opportunity to help my colleagues and see their ideas grow and see them grow at the same time.
Yeah.
And if you got this gentleman here, let me see if you can see it. Andy Gray. So this,
Okay.
can you see this?
We're still seeing the power, the browser with the power up.
Oh wait, okay. So let me see if I
You
can.
could probably just move the window into the screen that's being shared.
Okay. Can you see this?
Not yet. Still seeing the power ups
Okay.
for the page for Hindi.
Is it changed now?
Yeah, it's changed now. Yes.
Okay. So you got this gentleman called his name is Andrew Gray. He used to be a security
Okay.
officer for 10 years, and he built an app to have telephone and radio idents. So
Oh.
before we used to have that stuck on the wall on a piece of paper that had all the radio idents and all the telephone numbers. And he said he's going to build an app for that, and which he did. So now the phone numbers and the telephone, the radio idents are all up to date and instantly. So if a number is changed or not used, it can be deleted.
Oh.
So that helped a lot of things. So like I said, some now perhaps it allows you to build apps that could never be built before or would cost a
Exactly.
lot of money to build.
Money, yeah.
And when we talk about money, we have at the moment 12. Oops, sorry, we have 12 live apps currently at Heathrow, and this is how much we saved so far when it comes to building power apps. No, we saved up to £300,000 in staff costs alone, upskilling them.
Wow.
Taking away those people who were, sitting there and inputting data on Excel spreadsheet, and now they're adding value somewhere else within the company. The aim was to take the machine out of the human, and so they can, make it more automating kind of thing. It's not touch wood. No one has. People say, "Oh, but perhaps you lose jobs." No, you don't. You're giving them
Adding
a
value,
different.
yeah.
You're adding value. I've never heard of someone get so excited of spending 2 days of inputting data.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
so, and if that person, you're trying to add value, they can learn a new application. You can learn Power Apps and so on, which they do. It's great. We saved up to 950 hours. These are all annual savings. These are 950 hours of inputting time, walking distance, and so on, which has been amazing. One tree shreds up to 8,000 sheets of paper. So far, we saved up to 72,000 sheets of paper annually, and that's 9 trees we saved so far. Speaking of Dax Raymond, and he suggested that every tree that every tree that we save, we should plant a tree. And I thought, absolutely amazing idea, and we're looking hopefully to get that done as well, because what a great idea that when you build an app that saves paper, why don't you plant a tree for that? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then when we used to go to third parties, because we never had anyone build apps internally at Heathrow.
Yeah.
We used to go and ask someone to build apps for us, which would cost us £6,000 to build.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then if the app went obsolete or there's some tweaks that need to be made, then that app would cost extra more. Yeah. So now we saved up to £792,000 of savings since we've been building our own apps using Power Apps. So, but it's not just about just building the applications. We are upskilling a lot more people than ever before. If you can go to an employee and say, "I can save you time, money, and paper by building an app," they're like, "Brilliant! Come on board," kind of thing. I mean, the example here is that so far we had 14 people have been promoted. So we had 14 people so far being promoted, not just promoted, but upskilling themselves and moving to other companies and so on since learning Power Apps. So it's been absolutely great. got a story about Martin Shelley, where he had an amazing idea of, look, we pay £700 a month
Wow.
to to pay to mystery shoppers to check if a bus is on time, to make sure the bus driver is saying the right information and so on. So why don't we build an app? And he goes to me,
Mhm.
would you
Mhm.
build this app? Would you build this app for me? I said,
Yeah.
no, you can build you
Yourself.
can build this app. Yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah.
helped him, but within 2 to 3 weeks, he built the app, and he used to say to me, Samit, there's a quote he used to use, I can't build this app. Um, there's a quote that says, "Old dogs cannot learn new tricks,"
Yeah.
but he managed to do it. So he got to present it. He got to present the dashboard, and now he's got a new career in Heathrow. You know,
Yeah.
and that's the power of the whole Power Platform, that you're learning something new every single day, and people are making a huge difference in their careers and stuff. I mean, Jessie, who used to work for Heathrow, she now works for Altus, and she left a legacy at Heathrow. We're still using her app,
Oh.
and it's been amazing what she's done. So now see people grow and
Yeah.
see where it takes off, kind of thing. Uh, One of my highlights is that I get the opportunity to
Mm.
teach kids as well,
Kids. Yeah.
all backgrounds, all skill levels, and they teach me a few things thing or two as well. Because
Yeah.
at school they learn Python, they're learning Python at school.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
it's amazing. Like I teach kids last week about power ups and virtual power agents,
Mhm.
and it was great to see how they grip the new technologies and say, "Yeah, I can do this easily." They don't say that. Like I even tell this to my kids: don't ever use the word "can't," because
Yep.
that word is banned in our house. And these kids, I have not seen them ever say,
Yeah.
"I'm not going to do this"
I'm
or
gonna
"I
do it.
can't do
Yeah.
this."
Yeah.
Yeah, they say, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it." So they don't even leave for lunch when we're training them. They're like, "No, no, I want to get this done."
Yeah.
You know, I show videos from those Dynamics guys, Will, and Chris. And I show them the Super Mario game that they
Game.
built on
Yeah.
Power Apps.
Yeah.
And when they see that, like, okay, this is the
I'm
art of the
doing it.
possible. Yeah, I'm doing it. And I show Brian's video,
Mhm.
Space
Mhm.
Invaders and stuff.
Yep.
And people, this is why it's so good to showcase and share what you're doing,
Yeah.
because you're inspiring. You don't know
People.
how many people you're inspiring,
Yeah.
or what is the art of the possible. So it's absolutely been great, and we have a monthly meeting
Yep.
we have a weekly meeting with the community
Okay.
about Power Apps
Yep.
and the Power Platform, and what you're doing, what you're building, what help do you need, and so on. And it's great because people who I never thought I'd be able to talk to, uh, the technology is come basically
Yeah.
helping us, making us come closer together. So
Yep.
it's really good. It's really awesome to see how much his Power Ups is growing at Heathrow, and what's going to be next. So yeah,
Awesome. 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 I mean, I'm just just thinking of the enormous possibilities that this whole power platform things bring, and like you mentioned, it's very very important to ensure that in as much as we're building stuff, we are also encouraging people, we're sharing, we're doing a lot of community work where we're helping people also to get there. So that's the power of your story, because you started from not having any knowledge about it. Now you're a power addict, you're an MVP, you're a power superstar, and then you are giving that back. I mean, who knows the number of power addicts or MVPs that are going to come out from people you train, just helping. And like you said, sometimes you might think what you're doing is very simple, but that's actually a solution to a bigger problem for someone in the community. I mean, that's just amazing. That's just amazing.
the thing is, you learn a lot from the community. I've since I left being a security guard, I feel like I'm stretching all the time. Being a security guard for 13 years, you're in your
Mm,
comfort zone.
yeah, yeah.
Now, you can ask me to build an app, and I'll build it in 2 minutes. You ask me to send an email. You ask me to send an email that I find that I find the soft skills
Yeah,
uh more difficult. But
yeah,
this is what I love about life, and I love about this whole new journey where I'm going through, is that I'm always stretching myself. I might fail, I might not. Failure is great because I'm learning, and it's like one of life's lessons. But that what's what makes me great is that great about learning from the community. You always got they always got your back, um,
yeah,
which is great. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't have to be technology. You should always strive to, when you go to a company or you go to a department, so on, leave it better than you found it.
yeah. You found it. Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and what I've seen with Power Ups is that you're always looking at a process and say, you know what, I can make it better.
yeah,
And that's what's happened with me and learning something new. That's given me such a massive growth mindset that, yeah, it might take me longer to learn, but it's not going to stop me from
mm,
carrying on learning. When I was teaching school kids for the first time, they were like, "What is this guy on about?" Because
yeah,
you get so into the technology. But the more you teach school kids, you
mm,
know that, okay, I have to make it. You learn more about yourself. Okay, how do you speak to kids about how differently to adults, kind of thing. But
yeah.
that's what life is about. You learn more about yourself,
Looks like we have a little internet glitch here, but um, we'll be on standby waiting for him, to kind of reconnect. But I mean, interesting stuff going on. So Brian, who is one of the power up gurus, he just shared something that just makes a lot of sense and really something that I'm going to put on my timeline for a very long time. Now, this is what he says. He says that when you discover fire, share the warmth. When you discover fire, share the warmth. Sorry, it looks like we've lost Samit. I'm going to go back onto I'm going to go back trying to get him on the call. Um, hopefully he joins us back. But it's if you're not if you're not encouraged, if you're not motivated, okay, we
so
lost you there for a sec,
it's a,
but hey,
yeah,
he's back.
sorry.
Sorry about that, but I was just telling the viewers that Brian just shared something. He was like, when you discover fire, share the warmth. I mean, just going to say
Yeah,
that once you discover something awesome, share it. Share the love. Share the love. That's very very important. I mean, this has honestly been helpful, Samir. Very
no,
and one thing that I was telling a couple of my close friends that when we connected on Twitter and I was like I created the creatives and all that. I actually kept it under wraps for a while, and then I sent it to a couple of my close friends and like, wait, you kidding? And I'm like, yep, he's coming on the show. And I was telling them that, look, I mean, from just interacting with you for just a short while, I mean, down to earth, really, cool guy, nice guy, even willing to help us, talk to both clients, the community staff, and hey, I very much appreciate it. If I don't know if this doesn't motivate or encourage, or empower the folks out there, I don't know what's going to encourage or motivate them.
no, I'll be honest with you. Honestly, if I can't, there's so many other people out there
Yeah,
that can. You got people like, again, Keith Watling, you got Will, you got Manuela, you got everyone who's got a
yeah,
different journey, but they all inspire somehow, some way to some people. You got
yeah,
people like Martin Lee, but like I said, it starts from people who are sharing those the sharing bit. I mean, if it wasn't people like Shane Young and people, most of all, the biggest thanks goes to people like Samir and the Cat team and the Power Ups
yeah,
team and so
yeah.
on. Who get my voice, and if I go and I need help from them, they're there. These are the unsung heroes that are
Yeah.
always there in the background, who are always want you to be successful.
Successful. Yeah,
And people, it wasn't, again, people like Juan Cunningham, everyone works so hard. Claire, if you don't know him, please,
yeah.
reach out and say
Reach out to
thank you,
them. Yeah,
because they literally are making the product so good. makes me feel like a genius, you know.
Yep.
When I go back to Heathrow and I build something and I
Yep.
do something, they're like,
Yep.
"Sam, how do you do this?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's the people in
Yeah.
Microsoft, the people in Power Apps, the Power
Yeah.
BI and Power Automate. The great thing is that I don't see the difference between Power Apps, Power Automate, or
Automate.
Power
Yeah.
BI. The community is so thriving. You got John Levesque from Power Automate,
Yep.
who any
Yep.
question or anything, he comes and helps out and he
Yeah.
helps about the community. So good. He's so passionate about the community. You got a guy in the cube for Power BI.
Yep.
You know, they're the people who drive the community and help the community as well, and they're so easy to reach out.
Yeah.
But like I said, just reach out. Honestly, if you get stuck, reach out. Even to me. But
Yep.
you got the Power Addicts
Yep.
on you can catch up with them. But yeah, I feel like Twitter's the place to be.
It's been on fire for a while now. It's like, a
It-
lot of things going up there. That's amazing. That's
yeah.
that's very, very amazing.
If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask.
Yep.
Like I said, I'm here to.
Sure.
Yeah.
We don't have that much. It looks like,
Oh, okay.
the other questions are, the ones
Uh,
that I've asked. I mean, a lot of people are just, excited about this. People are just giving testimonies of what they're using Power Apps to do, and others are watching, in the hopes to start. I
yeah.
mean, before I let you go, there's something I've seen
Yeah.
behind your, on your wall. Says that when you want to succeed, as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
Yeah, and
That's
that's been a passion. That's been a passion of mine now. It feels like
yeah.
it's helped me a lot along my way, and it is. I mean, like I said, I just want to. My aim always been to inspire my kids
Yeah.
and make my dad proud of me, and so I want to keep doing that basically, and that helps me up
Now,
there a lot.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're already a huge inspiration. You have
no,
no idea. You are already a huge inspiration. Samit, we're very, very thankful for your time. I mean,
no.
we
Thank you so
appreciate
much
it.
for.
I will be reaching out lots of times.
Honestly, no, definitely. And you gotta let me know when you do come to Heathrow, and I'll pick you up.
Sure, awesome, awesome. I'll do that. I'll do that. So, enjoy the rest of the evening. It's probably like 9 or 10 p.m. out there.
Yes, yeah, it's 20 past 9.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all
I
good. So,
mean, we've been at it, I think, for an hour now. Thank you
no, yeah,
so much.
no,
I'll take, we'll just leave you to go rest, but the conversation continues between you and you and
yeah, always, always, always. It's not goodbye. So,
Yeah. Oh, no, 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 no. This is not goodbye at all. I
yeah,
mean, there's a lot for us to talk about. It's just,
oh yeah,
letting you be for a while now. Thank you for,
yeah.
spending an hour with us. We really
No,
appreciate
anytime.
it. And from time to time, we'll be catching up, to discuss a few things here and there to help the community, also to help the platform grow. So
Yeah,
thank you so much for your time.
no problem.
Awesome.
Take care. Bye.
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 Amazing, folks. That was Samit Saini. Very encouraging, very motivational. I mean, Brian, thank you so much. You have been a cheerleader from behind. Amazing guy. I'm going to connect with you. We have something to talk about, but thank you very much for making this happen. And yes, I will try. I'm learning from you guys the best. I just want to use the opportunity to let you guys know that come 15th of February, 2020, that's Saturday, 15th February, the Global Power Bootcamp is happening all around the world, all around the world. So look for closest local community and then join. In Ghana, it's being hosted by the Accra Power Platform User Group, the official user group for the Power Platform. We're hosting it at NIIT Ghana. Thanks to NIIT for giving us the venue. And also say a big thank you to Coco King for giving us the catering for the event. So, guys, as Summit said, you got to share the warmth, share the love, join the community. Make sure you're part of a local community that makes you thrive, that makes you grow. I mean, we're here to answer your questions. Don't feel, you're left out. Don't feel you are not capable. Don't feel you don't have any skill sets and you can't do it. That is why we are preaching, less code, more power, and then building citizen developers. You've heard it all from Summit. And until I connect with you, another week of awesome Power Platform, Power stuff. This has been Samuel Adranyi for Power Series. I will catch you next week. Stay blessed.